Welcome. Here today at Bio 201, we're going to be discussing Huntington disease. I'm Amanda.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm John.
Alright guys, so let's talk about Huntington's disease. So from what I can tell, what is it? It starts with the breakdown of cells in the brain.
Sure, Huntington's disease is the breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. As of right now, there's no cure for it to our knowledge. It's a genetic mutation, so if a parent has this disease, the offspring are 50% likely to inherit it as well.
Now, but what is it that is genetically inherited though?
The root cause of Huntington's disease is a mutated HTT gene. We all carry this gene. The mutation of the gene creates a protein that misfolds and aggregates inside the nerve cells, killing nerve cells and causing a decline in cognitive abilities, behavioral abnormalities, and muscle coordination loss.
Yeah.
That's pretty extravagant.
So the symptoms of Huntington's disease include forgetfulness, which can lead to impaired judgment. People that have this disease commonly have a unsteady gait, so they have issues, walking in a straight line and such. And unfortunately, people commonly view this as, or it can be confused with somebody who is impaired by alcohol or some other drugs. People.
So with these symptoms, I guess that's probably the reason that it's often diagnosed by psychologists instead of medical doctors.
Yeah,
because the symptoms expressed with this. We talked about depression.
Sure.
And
Probably because it primarily affects the nervous system.
Right.
So it mimics the other things.
But now there's some
noting the medical doctor to send to the psychologist to
right.
review.
Because if you saw somebody that had signs like depression, severe weight loss, and suicidal thoughts or something like that, your first thought would be that they have a psychological issue, not a neurological issue.
Absolutely. There's also some secondary factors to that too. There's some other organ systems affected by Huntington's, and that's the muscular, respiratory, and digestive systems.
I could see those being affected.
Sure.
Everything, the
nervous system
being the primary.
Absolutely.
The root here is what's going to cause your muscular system to deteriorate and maybe have false signals sent and spasms and other issues that,
Sure.
like we saw, we called it chorea.
Mm-hmm.
Is rapid movements that are caused by Huntington's disease, and then the respiratory, that leads to your lungs and your airways having issues.
Absolutely.
I could see that.
Speaking of chorea, that leads us to the 3 stages that's associated with Huntington's disease. Amanda, do you recall those stages?
Yes, you have the early stage, the intermediate, and the final stage. So in the early stages, you can have clumsiness, behavior and psychological symptoms. In the intermediate, trouble with speech, increased difficulty with movement, and moderate chorea. And within the final stage, chorea becomes severe. Speech may be impossible, and the patient will require around-the-clock monitoring. But currently in London, there is a trial undisclosed drug being used. 46 patients have signed up for this drug. So it's supposed to kill the mRNA so that it does not create the damaged protein, which is very
Extravagant.
So that's an undisclosed drug, correct? Like they haven't disclosed information of what that drug actually consists of?
not that I'm aware of.
Which would, it would make sense. You don't want.
Sure.
There's legalities and
Absolutely.
there's always financial things that come into play.
Also on there, they're injecting that particular drug into the cerebrospinal fluid.
Yeah, that's
what
what
we
I'm
read.
going on.
So yeah,
I think that
the purpose of that is to kill the mRNA,
Right.
and prevent the creation of new damaged proteins.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think the saddest part about this disease, though, is once patients are diagnosed with it, they only have 10 to 30 years left to
Sure.
live. I guess it puts a different view on life, yes, but it's still sad. Thankfully, though, even though there's not a cure in the U.S., there are treatments for the symptoms that are presented by the patients, and that leads to a better lifestyle, so the patient isn't fully suffering throughout the rest of their life.
The remainder, yes.
I think the other sad thing is that it goes undiagnosed until
Absolutely.
they're in their 30s to 50s.
So people should be made more aware that this is, they're more aware of Huntington's disease and should take the precautionary
To be tested.
stages to be.
I think that part of the reason we have such an issue with awareness in today's world is people see the fact that there's only 1 in 10,000 people
Sure.
affected. They hear that number, that, well, that's such a minimum.
Kind of played
That's
off
a
as
small
something.
number. It's played off as a small number, but when
Sure.
you think about it, there's 30,000 people affected in the U.S. currently that have this disease. And that's
more than-
30,000 people suffering, and don't they deserve to be helped as well?
Absolutely. And
And
there's
more than
organizations.
200,000 at risk.
Yeah, more than 200,000.
Right.
There's organizations to where people can donate their money and funds to
Yes, to the hdsa.org website,
yeah.
And, I mean,
which will upload that link so
Right.
that you can donate as well to help find a cure for this fatal genetic disorder.
right, and I think that you guys should remember when thinking about this disorder, or any other disorder for that matter, is the two biggest things that you can do is make yourself aware, and not only make yourself aware, make those around you, and to follow up with that, get genetic testing, see if you have the possibility of inheriting this disease.
Absolutely. Look at your family history.
Yeah, learn your family history, see if there's somebody in your history that has experienced this, and that way you can better help your family and yourself in the future.
Absolutely. To kill the MRA, which produces, or I don't know.
So what is Huntington's disease? Huntington's disease is the breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. If a parent has... My bad.
Retake.
Try that again. Okay, hold on. Huntington's is HD is a genetic mutation, which makes it uncontrollable disease.
It in the final stage. In the early stage, clumsiness, behavioral or psychological symptoms. Intermediate stage of trouble with speech, increased difficulty with movement. Moderate chorea. In the final stage, chorea becomes severe. Speech may be impossible, and patient will need around-the-clock care. That was horrible.
Very good, Dr. Mendes.
Currently in the U.S., there's no treatment. The current treatment for HD in the U.S. is to treat the... Stop doing that, please.
French accent shone through your English grammar.
All I can think of is an Italian accent. Like, it's me, Mario.
Alright, scratch on that. Let's just
We're not doing
I mean,
that.
like, cause I don't know how to start. Do we introduce ourselves, or we just go right into Huntington's disease? You know what I mean? Like,
Huntington's disease, do you have it?
I sure do.